Hi everybody, welcome to Khong Driving again. And what do we have here today? This is none other than the very cute Toyota CHR that was much awaited way in middle of 2017 when it was first teased, and towards the second half of the year there were orders taking, and the units were first delivered in March 2018. And so now it's 2010, yeah. So it's about 1 3/4 years before since the car was last launched, and it's a bit late. So there might be a facelift coming. We don't know, but this car took Japan by storm in 2017, and it outsold everybody else as the top-selling SUV in the country in 2017. So after much excitement, it came here. And actually there are two versions. The Japanese have another version with a 1.2 liter turbocharged engine, but this one has got a 1.8 liter engine. Okay, so let's have a look at the engine, the heart of the car. All right, here's the engine of the CHR. This is a engine from the Toyota group, and being 1.8, you can tell where it comes from. Yes, you guessed it right. It comes from the Corolla. Okay, so this is a 1.8 liter with dual VVTi. That means the inlet and exhaust valves have variable valve timing plus ignition, of course. And this is a transversely mounted engine, of course, and it drives the front wheels. So you can see here it is a double overhead cam, and it's of aluminum construction. You can see down here, this is the part that you can see the aluminum, and of course the block is also aluminum. The engine cover hides the beautiful engine actually. It's quite a nice engine, but well, still they make some cover to make it look nice. And you can see here, that's where the intake is. And the intake area for the car is over here. So the intake is up here, quite high. So you can see that this will be okay in a flash flood of up to maybe 12-14 inches. Okay, that's about maybe up to half of the tire. You should be safe. And then it's a naturally aspirated engine. And down there you can see the ABS module. There is plenty of space in the engine compartment. So this engine bay can take a 2 liter if it is required. Okay, so this car was launched in 2017 in Japan, and so now in 2020 it's about 3 years old, but you can still see some of the good engineering. So they have even cut off some of the, down there you can see the hole, they've cut off some of the fender to save the weight. And you can see here the suspension. This is the strut housing for the left suspension, because we are looking at the car from the front, yeah. And over that side is the right hand side strut housing. And then across the top they have a bar. So part of the body becomes a strut brace for the towers. So that helps to increase rigidity. You can also see where they have used thicker material for the tower, strut tower. So this is all part of the latest engineering techniques where they use different materials in different parts of the car according to what is required in order to save weight. So the drive is to the front wheels through a 7-speed CVT with sequential shift, yeah, with plus minus. No pedal shifts, I'm afraid. And in the tradition of Toyota engineering, this car is built very strong for durability, and also it's built very cute or kawaii, as the Japanese would say. So the main frame is actually at the bottom, and you can see that all these things up here, the front part of the car, they are just claddings and ancillaries that are added on to give it good looks. Of course, the front is made a little bit aerodynamic, and The intake is not just here but also at the bottom. Yeah, the bottom part is where most of the cooling intake is done, and then there's a little bit of extra intake here, the smaller one. So let's step back a bit. So there's 2 intakes there, and this part is just for decoration, but of course you can remove this to make brake coolers. That is, if you can make this car fast enough or powerful enough that you warrant such a thing. Headlights are actually halogen and with projector, but I've used them and they are not that bright at night. Yeah, not so great as you would expect a car of 150,000. Yes, it's 150,000 now. If you want to buy this car, so 150,000 doesn't seem so expensive now. Yeah, now that the Mazda CX-30 has been launched, and at 150,000 the CHR actually sits right in the middle of the 2 variants of Mazda CX-30, which is the low spec, or rather the standard spec versus the high spec, which is at 160. So 140 to 160, the CHR sits right in the center. Okay, looking along the sides, the front, okay, the tires are 17-inch. They are Primacy 4s, and this is 60 series 215/60 R17. You can see, so 60 series seems to be a bit high profile, yeah, because we are now so used to seeing all the low profile tires. 60 series seems so high profile, looks very much like a balloon. In the old days when I was racing production cars, 70 series was considered the low, low series tires, and 60 series made by Clevers. Of course, they had different compound and they were actually semi-racing slicks, or rather semi-slicks. But those were 60 series that was like, wow, that's really low profile. And today in 2020, 60 series looks like a balloon in comparison. Yeah. So anyway, I think this car will look better with 18-inch wheels. Yeah. It would certainly look a lot nicer, but of course, it'll be more expensive. But however, 60 series tires will give you a much more comfortable ride. Now, to stop the car, you get this looks like a 25 mm thick ventilated disc in the front, and the braking force comes from a single floating caliper. So it's disc with ventilated rotors in the front, and then we go to the back and you can see that it's a solid disc with a single floating caliper too. So tires in front and back are the same. And let's step back a bit and look at the car from further out, and you can see the black cladding. These are the replaceable claddings that signify that this is a crossover. Yeah. So in Malaysia they call this SUV. Anything that has got high ground clearance is called a SUV. Okay, so this ground clearance is a little bit higher than the normal car. A word about the suspension of the Toyota CHR. This CHR is the first Toyota to be built under the TNGA, which stands for Toyota New Global Architecture, and this is the new platform that Toyota are building their cars from C segment to the D and E segment. And the unique feature of the TNGA is that it's got McPherson struts in the front and double wishbones at the back. Okay, and this helps with the handling a lot, and is so far all the reports regarding the TNGA platform have been good. So the birth of the platform, in my theory, came from the Toyota 86 that was jointly developed with Subaru, and as a result, Subaru have a very similar platform. They call it SGP, which is Subaru Global Platform, and it runs the same type of build. Basically, front McPherson strut and rear double wishbone. Okay, so in terms of size, yeah, this vehicle is 4.360 meters long, which makes it a little bit shorter than the Corolla, I think. And it has a width of 1795 mm, which makes it quite pleasant to drive in traffic, not too wide and not too narrow. So the car is looks a bit tall because the height is also 1565, yeah. So it looks a little bit tall, but believe me, all the weight is at the bottom where it counts, yeah. And the wheelbase, which is the distance between the front and the rear wheels, the center to center distance, is 2640, which is about 60 mm shorter than the Corolla wheelbase. So I would dare to guess that this is based on the same platform, but with new platforms, they now allow you to shrink the wheelbase quite easily. They just move the points up and down, so you can actually literally build quite a few cars based on the same platform. Just for your information, platforms can also be widened and lengthened, and that's why the Camry is also built on the same platform. Okay, so the weight of the car is 1405 kg, that's 1405 kilograms or 1.4 tons, and the fuel tank has a maximum capacity of 50 liters. The back three-quarter view of the CHR is probably the best view of it because it has such a sporty shape and lights are very high, and then you have the nice little contrast in the bumpers where you have a combination of the body color, which in this case is silver, plus the black cladding and little reflectors at the bottom. Then going back up, you can see the lights that give it such character, and of course the Toyota emblem in the center. And moving further up, you see a rear wiper, which is a good idea, and also the rear spoiler, which is part of the roof, yeah, and it also provides shade for people sitting in the back because the glass is sloping, and also the spoiler itself has got some aerodynamics like kind of flaps, yeah. So overall the rendition is quite nice, and that is one of the reasons why it's so popular. So let's open the boot. You can see, yes, there's a reverse camera, and the boot is not very spacious, but you can perhaps put in 2 medium-sized suitcases or 1 large suitcase and 1 small suitcase. Good for a small family traveling. And they have already a built-in tapao hook, 1 on each side, little light, and you can see that the rear seat will split and fold. Here's the other tapao hook, and this part is where this pattern here is where the tonneau cover will rest. So this is a solid piece of tonneau cover, which is very good. It's hooked to the glass, hooked to the window, and the struts there. You can see the struts holding the rear tailgate up, and it closes with the tailgate to hide your precious things in the bottom. So even here, well, the black plastic here or dark gray plastic is textured to make it look good. And down there is a little plastic cover to help you in case you need to carry fish or something like that, yeah. And down there's a space saver, spare tire, and it comes with this Toyota emergency kit. So what's in the kit? There's an emergency tire inflator, jumper cable, and what is this? Yeah, there's a jumper cable, and this is a emergency kit manual, how to use, and of course the safety triangle. Okay, let's put it back. It zips very nicely up. Yeah, and it stows there just nicely. That's my bag. All right, no electric tailgate, yeah, just manual. From here, we'll look at the passenger compartment, and let's look at entry to the car. The car is locked. Mirrors don't fold, yeah, when it's locked. And so, can you open the door? Yes, you can. I have the key with me, I'm not pressing it. I'm going to lock it again. Let's try. Let's unlock the door. Yes, it unlocks. Let's see whether I can lock the door. Just press here. Yes, you lock the door by pressing this, and you unlock by just touching it. Yep. So here we get into the car, and what do I see? The door opening angle is not bad. That's about 75-80 degrees, and you see here immediately these are textured leather seats, and that's an adjustable headrest. Same over there, and you have a center console with the gear lever there. Then you have your dashboard that is textured soft plastic, soft leather with stitching, and the rest of it is plastic. Yeah, this is sort of a light brown or dark brown color. You have a steering that's adjustable for reach and rake. Seats are mechanical, yeah, so you can see that's the height adjustment. This is the rake adjustment, and you can see also the side bags. So this car comes with 7 airbags. You can't see it, but yes, maybe you can make out there's a knee bag here. So they have the driver and passenger plus the side bags and the curtain airbags, so that makes 7 in all. Okay, let's get into the car because it's quite hot. But before we do that, let's look at the side cladding. Yeah, so there's a two-tone cover here. This is brown, but it's plastic. This is also plastic, and this is soft. Looks like a bit of leather. Then there's plastic, of course, your window controls. And let's get into the car. So here we go. Okay, I'm in the car. I'm going to start the engine, step on the brake, and the welcome comes on. Depress brake pedal, push engine switch to start. Engine switch is here on the right, and the car starts up. So we get all the checks there, and we've started. Okay, I'm going to put the key down, and I'm going to slide the seat back. Okay, it slides really far back, and I can't reach the pedals. So I think a 7-footer can drive this car quite easily. Okay, let's take a look at the car. And the steering is, this is about 13-inch or 13.5-inch. Nice and small steering. Then you have your radio controls here, your phone control here. Yes, this car comes with Apple and Android connectivity, yeah. And also here you have a trip meter here. So trip A, trip B, then your toggle, you can toggle to whatever you want. Messages, if any, fuel consumption. Okay, then you have your drive mode, and if you press drive mode, you can have eco, normal, or sport. Then you toggle using here. It's very easy, just toggle up or down, and as you toggle up and down, you get into sport, normal, and eco. So eco is the best. Normal is to give you the best driving experience, and for exuberant driving you can use sport. So let's just bring it back to normal, and the speedometer is on the right. It goes up to 220, but we're not going to hit that speed. And on the left you have your rev counter, and then you can see here this car comes with BSM, which is blind spot monitoring. then RCTA, which is your rear cross traffic alert, and then there is parking assist. Parking assist means parking sensors, yeah, there is no other assist. And then down here in the center you see also traction control, and then this is hill hold, this is a hold button, auto hold. You guys know what is auto hold, right? When you press the button and you put your car in gear, and once you come to a stop, you can take your foot off the brake, and it will hold the car. Okay, so that's Toyota calls it brake hold. Handbrake is electronic, and down here there's a little hole for you to put your drink, and in front there's another hole to put your drink there. Then the gear lever here, of course the normal automatic, and then if you push it to the right, you get plus or minus, yeah, plus forward and minus down. So this is the reverse of the Mazda systems. It's also confusing. Some of them have plus to go up forward, and some of them minus forward. So it gets confusing for us. Every time we drive a car, we got to check which side goes which side. Yeah. Okay. So then the dashboard looks pretty good. Let's see from the aircon vents on the left, on the right. Then we go across the meters. Then you have this screen, touch screen. According to the list, it is 6.75 inch touch screen, yeah. And the Optitron meters, these are electronic meters, yeah. And there is a smaller screen in there. So it says also Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Sound system comes with 6 speakers, and of course the smart entry, which we saw just now, and the 3 drive modes of Sport, Normal and Eco. Then the dashboard continues up. What you see up there is my camera mount, yeah, for going up the mountain. And the dashboard looks just about right, not too cluttered and not too simple, so it's pretty nice. And then the motif goes along the side from the aluminum brusher, starts from this side here. From here, the aluminum finish goes through the instrument panel, up around wraps around the screen, and goes to the other side. Then it moves down into the armrest. That's quite a neat design. And then up here, the roof is textured, and these are ambient lights, but we don't see any lights. This is the light control. No sunroof here, and also this is the roof dome light off. And aircon is 2-zone, left and right, so you can see your control for the temperature. But fan speed is only 1. Okay, then there's some dials here. This for aircon, eco aircon. Means it runs economically, and also when you accelerate it goes off, I think. This is the aircon switch, dual aircon left and right controller, and this is the controller for the vent. Temperature up and down is this little toggle here, temperature up and down, fan speed up and down, and okay, where you want your airflow. This one is straight to the face, up and down, and only down, and defrost. Okay, so let's do up and down, and I'm going to put the fan speed down. Then what is this? Auto aircon, is it? Defrost front, defrost rear, off. Okay, auto aircon means you get temperature control automatically, so the system will speed up or speed down. Okay, let's take auto off because it's too noisy. And sorry, that's auto off. Gets quite complicated. Okay, 21 degrees. Okay, you touch the temperature toggle, the auto goes off. That's the vent for the aircon. And over there on the screen you have, okay, cannot touch the thing, radio, audio player, video player. Oh, you can play video. I wonder where you put a video. It must be through, yeah, through a USB. That's a USB. And this is AUX. Then you have phone, you have application. You got to connect. Oh yes, it is smartphone connectivity, mobile link. You got to connect, yeah. And settings, you can check your audio settings, left, right, balance, and all. Move back. Where do you move back? Then your system, you get up and down your brightness. Now I noticed driving at night this screen is a bit bright, so I put it down to minimum. Yeah, I put this down to minimum because you can get a bit of glare from the screen. That is the one weakness I find in this car. I wish you could actually turn it down, and this down to maximum dim, but it's still quite bright, and it's quite bad for the eyes when you're driving at night. And then you have also your date and time, your general, what you want, how loud you want your beep, what language you want, and all that. So let's move back. Bluetooth connection, you can also connect your Bluetooth. And okay, this is about the model of this headset. Alright, so let's go home, and you can turn it off if you want. Yeah, so at night if I'm driving, you can turn off, when you're driving you can turn off the screen, I suppose, but that light will still be quite glaring, and we've set it at the minimum. Okay, in terms of driving position is pretty good. So you can sit in here, you can adjust the height. Yeah, there's no HUD, there's no pedal shifters, but there's cruise control. And of course your steering is mechanically adjustable to get you the best driving position. The driving position is not so jinba itai, but it's more or less in a straight line. Yeah, so visibility out the windows is quite good, and I suppose you will see our drive up the mountain. And up there you can see there's a camera that's very standard in a lot of the Toyotas now. That's the driving cam, and you have auto dimming rear view mirrors. Okay, so did I mention it's got BSM? Yes, blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic. Okay, so now let's move to the back. Okay, the back door is quite unique. The handle is up here, and the back door angle is not too bad, also about 70 to 80 degrees. And the back seat, you can see that there are 3 headrests, so it's made as a 5-seater, but to be honest, you'll be comfortable if there are just 4 of you. So the motif of two-tone color, this is the also plastic of course, and then of course there is a drink holder here, and here I am sitting at the back. My seat is back in my own position, and yes, there is plenty of leg room, and of course they have the little hole underneath the seat for you to put your feet. And seat belt anchors for driver and passenger are adjustable for height. Yeah, so you can adjust the height, and that's my camera here. You can see at the back the C-pillar is a little bit on the thick side, but I suppose they have to make it a bit thicker to give it strength. And view through the back is not too bad, and I didn't have any problems while driving the car. But the back passenger, if you're a bit short, you might not, because the seat is very high, so it's good protection in case of rollover. There's very little glass, so maybe not so good for treasure hunting. Okay, so hey, surprise, there is no oh my god handle at the back. See, on the left and right, that's the left, there's no oh my god handle, but there are 2 in the front. Now that's a bit strange. So where is the back passenger going to grab when he says oh my god, oh my god? Okay, the only thing you can grab is here. So the oh my god handle for the back passenger is on the door, but I think one up here will be very good. But I think maybe it's because of space. If they had it here, then the back will be quite narrow, and anybody who's a bit taller, the head might hit the handle here. So that's why they don't have it. But anyway, that's another point about this car. Some cars have 4, some cars have 3, but this car has only 2, and one of them is unnecessary because the driver doesn't say, oh my god, the driver drives. Okay, so here's looking at the dashboard from the back. So you can see the steering is leather covered, and we pan through. That's the touch screen and the aircon controls, the front dash, and all the way to the other side. And a look at the seats, leather, and the gear shift, panning through. The pedals are metal, non-metal, pedals are rubber. Okay, so that's about it. So this is that's the back light. I'm going to turn it off. So this is the Toyota CHR. Okay, we get out again. And I just want to show you the rear seat splits and folds, and it's quite flat. So one thing good about this, when you fold it down, it's flat, and you can put more luggage should you require it. Quite easy mechanism. So there you have it, guys. One more nice round around the car. So that's it, guys. This is the Toyota CHR. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and wait for our video.